Good morning, or good evening rather, to a special bedtime stories this first day of Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa to those who celebrate Kwanzaa. I'm going to start out with a bedtime cocktail as I normally do. I probably won't sip on it too much because just a pre of doing it. I had some early this morning, and when I tell you it knocked me out like a NyQuil, um, it had me down for the day. You tell me I had to get up, go get something to eat. I'm still still recovering from the hot toddy that I made this morning, and so that is the cocktail of the evening, the bedtime cocktail. And the reason why I decided to do a bedtime, the hot toddy, is there's a rise, there's a surge in people that have gotten the vid, and this kind of helps out with the cold and flu symptoms. Okay, if you don't have a cold or flu symptoms, and you and you drink this drink, be aware that you should eat before you have this drink. And do it in the evening so that you can sleep that joint off into the morning. Okay? So this drink is meant to be used as a home remedy for cold and flu season. Okay? So, now some people make hot toddies, they actually use tea. I do not. But I have dried ginger, honey ginger. I boiled this ginger in honey, and I dried it. Okay, so I'm going to put that at the bottom of the cup. Ginger is very good for opening up them sinuses, helping sweat out some of the, cold that you have. Okay, so first I put some ginger, sliced ginger, honey ginger, at the bottom of my glass. I also have water here, just because it's also good to drink water, stay hydrated. Ooh, I sucked that down a little bit too hard. Like, sucked all the water in there and almost went down the wrong way. So what I'm going to do is put like maybe a couple of teaspoons of honey at the bottom. Okay. In there with the ginger, just kind of stir that up. And in here I have hot lemon water. I boiled some lemons in hot water. The key to a hot toddy is a spirit, which would be tonight Chairman's Reserve rum. I believe it is a St. Lucia rum. Tonight, most people use bourbon or whiskey. I'm using rum because that is the spirit of until the end of the year. So right now, I'm going to put in here a little hot lemon water, and just let that honey dissolve into the hot water. And let them, stir it up. Let that get all in there. I also put at the bottom of this glass a vitamin C tab, help build up your immune system. You don't see it because I didn't show it to you. I did that earlier today. Okay, so I did not get a shot glass, but I'm going to just kind of eyeball maybe a shot just a shot of the Chairman's Reserve rum. You really don't, daggone it. You really don't need a lot of rum. Okay. Maybe put a little bit more rum. I just used the cap, as you saw before, because it fell in there. So I did 2 capfuls because I did not bring my shot glasses over here with me. And here at According to AKARA, we be improvising, you know what I'm saying? So the main thing with a hot toddy, it is a spirit. It is hot water, lemon, and honey. That's the main thing. Anything else you add to it, that is your swing. Okay, so this has been popping out of this a lot, so I'm going to change which stand I'm going to use for this one from now on, because this stay popping out of the one with the ring light on it. So guess what? It stays secure in here. And you will go in the ring. If you don't like staying in the proper light, there we go. Okay, so I had to change stands because this phone it keeps popping out of the ring light holder. So this one has a better grip. So guess what? Changing it will not go back into that one again. Okay? Not never. Okay, so like I said, the main ingredients is a spirit. Most people use bourbon or bourbon or whiskey, but I'm using rum tonight. Honey and lemon and hot water. Some add tea. I do not. I have added ginger. I've added a vitamin C tab that's dissolved in here. And now I'm going to go into my ATA tumbler and pull out those lemons that has been boiled to perfection. Well, just one for now. We're going to put that in there, add the rest of the water. Here is the ATA hot toddy. Okay, this is the ATA hot toddy. Perfect for those cold days, or I would suggest taking this right when you start to feel not right. You know what I'm saying? And get you a hot toddy and get under them covers and sweat it out. That's what I suggest, because I sure enough been sweating it out all morning. And I don't feel bad. I feel bad because I did it this morning, testing it out, and I hadn't eaten anything, like a dumbass. Like, I am almost 50 years old. I know better about drinking. I know how to drink. Drinking, you must. I say it again, you must. Make sure you stay hydrated before you start drinking, and you got to eat. Okay? If you do not eat, you will have a hangover that comes from hell. You hear me? And I am only maybe about 75%. Okay? Because you know me, usually I'm on here like, hey, you know, So, warning, and I know I had to do this. So, let's get into it. Let me put Bigo Live in here. Hello, Bigo Live. Welcome to a special bedtime story where I will actually be reading a book to you. The name of the book is The 1619 Project. Born on the Water. It's an illustration by Nicole Hannah-Jones and Renee Watson. The illustration was done by Nicholas Smith. Now, this is a fictional book, meaning, hold on. It's a non-fictional book, meaning that this is a true story. Okay, but and in February, in Black History Month, I'll be reading the 1619 Project book, which is thicker than this and is not illustrated. So for the first day of Kwanzaa, we shall be reading the 1619 Project. Let's get on into it. For Naya, for Caleb, and Naeem. To my son Zion, may you continue on the path of bravery and brilliance that your ancestors have laid before you. Okay, so we have this book starting with a little girl. Looks like has questions. So, questions. My teacher gives us an assignment. Who are you? She asked. Trace your roots. Draw a flag that represents your ancestral land. Most of my classmates can count back many generations and learn about their countries where their families came from. They draw their flags, but I leave my paper blank. I do not know where I begin, what my story is. At home, Grandma asks, how was school? I tell her about the assignment, how I couldn't finish it, how I can only count back 3 generations here in this country, where my parents, my grandparents, and my great-grandparents were born. But before that, I do not know. I tell her I am ashamed. Grandma gathers the whole family, says, come, let me tell you our beginning. Let me tell you where we're from. I don't know, is this a good angle? There we go. Okay. What Grandma tells me, they say our people were born on the water, but our people had a home, a place, a land before they were sold. 400 years ago, in 1619, our ancestors were taken and brought here on a ship called the White Lion, a whole year before the Mayflower arrived. But before that dreadful voyage, there was a time when they did not pray for freedom. There was a time when they did not sing about overcoming. Their story does not begin with whips and chains. They had a home, a place, a land, a beginning. Their story is our story. Before they were enslaved, they were free. Here's the illustration. I hope you all can see it. I think I just thought about I should show you the illustrations because it is an illustration. They had a language. They spoke Kimbundu. Kimbundu. had their own words for love, for friend, for family. The kingdom of Indongo was nestled between La Kala and the Kwanzaa rivers. Funny. The high plateau in the West Central Africa. The people were good with their hands, knew the power of seed, how to plant it, water it, and how to make something out of nothing. Kind of how we are now. Illustration. The people were good with their minds, good at math and science. They used shells for money, counting, recording, trading. They knew what their work was worth. They spoke Kimbandu and their own words for joy, for grow, for home. Their hands had a knowing. Their hands had a knowing. They knew how to hold their baby close, how to rock their child to keep her from crying. Their hands knew how to mix herbs, how to get the just right flavor for a meal. Their hands knew how to beat and twist and shape iron, how to make gardening tools, armor, and weapons. Their hearts had a knowing. They knew how to make work joyful, how to create rhythm by pounding their tools against metal. They knew how to make music to keep them company as they worked. Their minds had a knowing, worldly, curious, sharp. When they met the white people, they learned quick, taught their language, taught their tongues to speak Portuguese, taught their eyes to read strange words. They knew how to mix the old with the new, how even an ancient people always had more to learn. And they danced. And the people moved their feet, moved their whole bodies to the melody of the horns and stringed instruments, of marimbas and drums. They danced to celebrate, to mourn. They danced as they worshiped, to offer thanks. Their bodies a song under open sky and bright sun, their bodies a swaying testament to the beauty of creation. Stolen, and the white people took them away anyway. Kidnapped them, baptized them in the name of their God, stamped them with new names. Ours is no immigration story. Ours is no immigration story. They did not get to pack bags stuffed with cherished things, with the doll grandma had woven from tall grasses, with the baby blanket handed down from generation to generation, all the way back so far back that it carried the scent of the ancestors. They could not hug their fathers and mothers, daughters and sons, hearts thumping in rhythm, clinging to the final sweetness before the parting. No promises, whispered from mouth to ear, of seeing each other soon. Just wails and sobs, confusion and wrists, worn raw from shackles made of iron, feet split and bloody from the 200-mile march along the Kwanzaa River. They had no things, but they had their minds, the old ways, the harvest songs, and just right mix of herbs etched in their memories. They had their bodies, histories, bloodlines, and drums pulsing in their veins. With trembling fingers, they braided seeds into their hair, defiantly hiding tiny pieces of home to plant one day in new soils. No matter what some say, the people fought, and the white people took them anyway, forced them into the bottom of an evil ship to sail to a new world they had no desire to see. Ours is no immigration story. The white lion, no one knows how long it took before they knew they would never see Ndangu again. Never run along the high plateau or throw their heads back and giggles with their best friends. Maybe it was the second month or the third when they had not seen their land or any land. For so many days they could no longer count. Some could not bear the pain. They refused to eat. They shut their mouths until their hearts gave out. Others tossed themselves into the teal eternity of the Atlantic Ocean, swimming one last time with the ancestors. Sickness and hunger, filth and cruelty took the others, almost half. But those who did not die, resolved to live no matter what, packed the dark misery, strangers chained together, head to feet, hip to hip, in the bottom of a ship called the White Lion. They saw that these strangers, men, women, children, kidnapped, too, from many villages. These were their people now. These many people became one people, a new people. And that is why the people say we were born on the water. We came from the people who refused to die. They were born on the water. I'm trying to make sure y'all both can see. Ooh. Mm. Point Comfort. Finally, the ship stopped moving and the people were dragged to the deck. They closed their eyes against the light of the sun they had not seen since Mother Africa's coast. They closed their eyes against the sight of the land that was not theirs. They cried a silent cry as white men spoke strange words, talking about their bodies, and with the handshake traded another's child, mother's mom and daddy, 20 to 30 beloved human beings in all, for a few pounds of food and drink. 400 years ago, in the year 1619, the white people called this land Virginia. A sweet-sounding word for a place of such pain. A sweet-sounding word for the place where American slavery began. Tobacco fields. From sun up to sundown, the people worked the fields, growing and harvesting tobacco. The crops were sold to Europe, bringing wealth to Virginia. But the enslaved people did not get anything in return for their labor. The people worked and worked. When the people grew weary, they remembered their yesterdays, remembered their songs from Indago, sang them to ease their spirits. As they sang, they looked into the future, hoped for better days, planted prayers into the heavens, praying, praying, praying for freedom. How to make a home. After a long day's work, planting tobacco in the fields, after brutal treatment, after nothing to show for their hard work, sadness would come and will come a longing for Indago, for the mamas, for the daddies, for the friends. They could no longer hug and talk with under the warm sun. We are in a strange land, they said, but we are here and we will make this home. We have our songs, our recipes, our know-how. We have our joy. We will love, laugh, sing, and hug our children as tight as they can hold a child. We will survive because we have each other. And so the people planted the seeds they carried over the ocean, snuck to visit one another in the dark of night, sang songs, swapped tales of yesterday, remembering. And the people planted dreams and hope, willed themselves to keep living. And the people learned new words for love, for friend, for family, for joy, for grow, for home. We are in a strange land, they said, but we are here, and we will make our home. We will make this home. We have determination, imagination, faith. We will survive because we have each other. The Tuckers of the Tidewater, Virginia. 1924, Anthony and Elizabeth, oh, I'm sorry, I said Elizabeth. Anthony and Isabella, enslaved on the plantation of Captain William Tucker and his wife Mary Tucker. Two ordinary people forced to till the soil, forced to build a country they were not from, found a way to build a love for each other, to marry and create a family, a legacy. They did not know their family would be the start of a new people. They were just two ordinary people who had a son, a new beginning, a promise to live on and on. William Tucker, hope is a promise. Faith that a better day will come. Belief that things will not always be this way. Hope is refusal to give up, to die out. Hope is a child born. Way back then, hope had a name, William Tucker. He was born to ordinary people, a man and a woman, who were not free, but who believed in freedom, who were not free, but who believed that one day freedom would come, even if they never saw it. These two ordinary people gave life to an extraordinary child, a child not of Africa, a child not of Europe, nor of a native people already here, but a child of a new people formed on the water. The first black child born in the land that would become the United States, the first truly American child. Resist. Life was hard, and it will get harder for the generations to come. White people told the people they were not human, that the people were things to be bought and sold and given as gifts, alongside horses and chairs. When the people were beaten, they said the people did not feel pain. When they sold the people's children, they said the people didn't love. These were lies they made up so they could feel okay about slavery. It was wrong, always and forever, to own human beings. It was wrong, always and forever, to treat human beings like things. The people fought back for 250 years. The people resisted every day in ways big and small for 250 years. The biggest resistance of all was that the people kept living. They kept living. legacy. And the people who were born on the water survived, kept living and living. It was illegal to teach enslaved people how to read, but they birthed generations of teachers and librarians, scholars and authors. They were brokenhearted, beaten, bruised, but they became healers, pastors, activists, doctors, and counselors. No one could steal the people's joy. They wrote songs, created jazz and hip hop, rhythm and blues. They became inventors, athletes, nurses, cooks, pilots, architects, farmers, and housekeepers, singers and artists, dancers and poets, mathematicians and scientists. They passed on their stories through the stitch of the quilt, shared secret messages through the songs. The people survived, the people fought, and because the people survived, and because the people fought, they finally got freedom. And because the people survived, and because the people fought, America has equality in the law. And because people survived, and because the people fought, America began to live up to its promise of democracy. It is the people who fight for this democracy still. Pride. Grandma looks at me and my brother, tells us this is why we say Black Lives Matter, why we celebrate Black Girl Magic, why we believe we are the ancestors' wildest dreams. Never forget, we are their hope. Never forget, you came from a people of great strength, Grandma says. Be proud of your story, your story. The next day I got to school, pulled out my red crayon, my blue and my white, and I draw the stars, and I draw the stripes of the flag of the country that my ancestors built, that my grandma and my grandpa built, that I will help build too. And I am not ashamed. I know what my story is, where I am from, where I begin. I'm not sure if you noticed that I got a little choked up because that's absolutely beautiful. A beautiful way to see our story in America as Black people. As Black people. The greatest resistance was living and is living. This is so beautiful. And I thank my father for sending me this book and the 1619 Project that I will be reading during Black History Month. So, I mean, that was really touching to me. Wow. 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 Now, some people probably wouldn't have had that sweet of a ooh, that was good. Story about us being enslaved, but that was beautiful. It is beautiful. It was beautiful. That was very beautiful. That concludes the book. This is We Were Born on the Water, the 1619 Project by Nicole Hannah Jones. She is a award-winning author, black author. My goal when I do these book reviews is to promote black authors. Get us back reading. Let's get back to reading black people and educating ourselves, okay? And that's all I have for you all. I hope you all have a wonderful Kwanzaa and the rest of your holiday. And I will see you. The next time I'll see you is tomorrow for the morning chat, the morning lip, the morning sip, and a morning news snip. And next Sunday? No, next Saturday, January 1st, we will continue. Well, we will begin doing Caught Up Loving a Trill 1. 2. We gonna find out, did Mac pass in the shooting? If you were here, go back to my IG and watch that and my YouTube. Did he die in the shooting? Did Toy die in the shooting? What happened? Who was it? Who was the cause of that hit? It's crazy. Is Zeus alive? Is Saint alive? Who knew about that? Did Pablo know about that? Is that the reason why he was calling back to back? Or no, not Pablo. Rico. I already forgot. The Alabama drug dealer, was he a part of it? Did he know? Is that the reason why he was calling her back to back? Like, don't go over there, we about to hit it. You know what I'm saying? We found out who was the one who did the initial hit, and it's that dude. I don't know. We don't know. At any rate, I'm going to let you all go. And remember, love yourself, love your neighbors, and stay authentic. You all have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.